Good Monday, everyone. This is Rebecca. Hope you had a great weekend coming to you live. So, we are on our Reset You for 2022 challenge. This is week 4 of 7 weeks of reset. I'm getting such great feedback about everybody's eagerness and all the great results that people are getting regarding reset. And I love the feedback. Keep it coming. I want to hear from you. And you can either reach me through my social media or my website at rebeccacontreras.com. Shoot me an email. Let me know how you're doing. So, for those of you who missed the first 3 weeks of reset, we've been doing this 15 minutes every Monday and talking about reset. I want to encourage everybody. We've discussed the importance of the value of staying the course and being consistent in this reset challenge. We've got a few more weeks to go, and consistency is the key to success. And then having an accountability partner or a buddy, so to speak, also to help you as you go through your reset. I have found that doing life, and particularly when you're re-engineering, recalibrating, or resetting, doing life with people is important. And my phone is ringing, so I am going to turn it off. The joys of technology. But having that consistency and accountability, but also having a partner, is super important to go the journey with you. And so I have friends and a coach and a very, very strong partner who helps keep me accountable. And I encourage you to do the same. So today we are actually talking about rethinking and the power of our thought process in our success. I talked a little bit about this in week 1 when we talked about mind, body, and spirit, but I want to go a little deeper today in this rethinking. I am a big fan of Dr. Caroline Leaf. She is authored as she's a neuroscientist and has done a tremendous amount of study around the brain and the power of the brain. I wanted to just read an excerpt out of her book, Think, Learn, Succeed, that has been super powerful. So she says, our minds are incredibly powerful, and we can use our thoughts to improve our overall intellect, our cognitive performance, and mental and physical well being. So she even ties thinking to physical well being. Harnessing these natural resources give us the power over present depth and the context of your past and the anticipation of the future. So, understanding how your mind works and using that mind to reset your thinking will determine your success. So, I actually recommend her book. She's got about 4 or 5 of them, also great TED Talks. I've gleaned a lot and learned a lot from Dr. Leaf's teachings. But in her books and in her teachings, and as a part of her studies, she actually advocates that the mindset and the way we think contains power. Power over our thought process, power to change our thought process does actually result in trigger how we behave and then triggers various actions in our life. And she talks about shifting the thoughts in your minds and really activating your power in a 5-step process to shift your life from surviving to thriving, and that is the mode to success. So I call it, very simply put, so your thoughts go and your thinking goes, there your being goes. And our actions, we know, will result from that mindset that we set. And so changing that mindset and harnessing our thoughts and embracing that power that we hold to change them does determine our success. So I wanted to share with you 5 steps that I use in re-engineering my own thinking, and I want to encourage you. It doesn't have to be this huge thing and a hard thing. You can start small and start simple. Let's not complicate things or try to figure out how to take on that 800-pound gorilla in terms of our thinking, but let's start step by step. So I have a process called the 3 R's. For me, it's about number one, R number one, it's renewing our mind and ensuring that in every single day we walk through a process of renewing our thoughts, starting afresh. Regardless of what happened the day before, the next day You always have an opportunity to start afresh and renewing your mind. And really, renewing our mind in 2022 to take those things that happened to us in 2021 or even 2020, and we all know we've been through a lot. Everybody's facing challenges in our families, in our bodies, in our careers, in new things that are happening outside of our control. So you have an opportunity here in 2022 to just renew your mind. And so what happened in 2021 is gone. And so renew our mind for 2022 and embrace that change and put in the place of those things that might have affected you in 2021 in your thought process, put some new thoughts in its place. So for me, what that means for me, I'll just give you an example. So we're going through a tremendous amount of growth at Avant-Garde AG, my company, and there's some negative impact, and we've had some potential loss. We actually had a pretty big loss in 2021 of a long-term client, and this year we're facing another potential loss of a long-term 5-year-old client. And I can make a choice in that loss, knowing that I've worked super hard and it's outside of my control. My team has worked super hard. I can make a choice. I can either allow that loss to negatively affect me and start doubting my capabilities, start doubting what we bring to the table, start doubting our own solid performance, and it has been solid. And I can let it take me down a trail of negative thoughts and woe is me and what happened and all that, toxic stuff that tends to sometimes want to come into your brain. Or I can take control of my thoughts and my negativity, and I can say, stuff happens, life happens, and I know that I did the best that I could in that situation, and I'm not going to allow that loss to negatively influence my thinking about who we are as a team, who we are as a company. Certainly, you want to go through and you want to tackle and figure out what happened. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about going negative and allowing loss or allowing pain or allowing things that happen to allow you to go negative, because your thought process is such an important part of your success and your movement forward. It's important to choose life and choose positivity instead of death. Choose forward movement and that renewing of our mind, even in the situations where we have loss or pain or challenges. R number 2, recharge. So learn to recharge your thought process and recharge your mind. It's no different. Listen, your brain is a muscle. It's no different than your biceps or your legs or your core, and you're working on your core to make yourself stronger. You have to recharge your mind, and learning how, when your mind is spinning out of control because of the situation or because of something that's negatively impacting you, taking ownership of those thoughts and recharging yourself and thinking on those positive things is super important. And for me, a key component of recharging has to do with that social support system and avoiding the place of loneliness. So loneliness and isolation can be a very negative thing for our thought process. I don't know about you, but when I get lonely and when I isolate, if I stay there too long, I just get in the woe is me mindset, and I just go negative. And so that social support system is super important to recharging your mind. Get around other people who are thinking positive things about you, and it will help you stay positive and recharged. And then lastly, R number 3, refocus. Hey, there is nothing like refocusing and recalibrating. Part of this reset challenge is all about the refocus and having us all take a pause where we are in our life, whether it's our career, whether it's our business, our community, our family, our own personal journey, wherever we are refocusing and learning how to refocus. We choose what we're going to let in our brains. We choose to allow that thought process to develop. Dr. Leaf talks about in her book how your brain has roots, like a root system. If you think of a tree, in terms of how strong a tree grows, the roots can go really deep into the soil. So the same way that thought enters our brain, in her book, she talks about how the roots and not allowing the root of that negative thought process to go deep into your soil. But refocus it and choose what you let in your brain and what you let in your head. We are only in control of our thoughts. There is nobody else that can control our thoughts but us. So finding that power to refocus your brain when things happen in life that we can't control, unfortunately or unfortunately, it's important for us to refocus our thought process. So an example of this is, as many of you know, and you should read Lost Girl if you haven't read it. I have a chapter there dedicated where I talk about my mom and the frustration around her challenges and issues. And I had to learn to refocus what I thought about my mom. Instead of trying to change her, instead of trying to understand her, I just learned to love her where she was. It's so important when you're dealing with family members and issues with loved ones. I had to refocus my mind. I'm no longer going to try to fix mom, but I'm going to love her where she is. And that refocus of my mind in that situation just revolutionized my entire relationship with her. So, we have talked today about the three R's in rethinking, renewing our mind, recharging our mind, refocusing our thoughts. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully, you've been able to get something good out of this reset. And I'm going to ask you if you've enjoyed our reset challenge, please share our videos out. They're all on my social media page. You can also drive people to subscribe at RebeccaContreras.com and drop me a line on my email at RebeccaContreras.com. I would love to hear from you. Let me know how this reset is working for you and some of the neat and creative ways in which you're resetting for 2022. Join me next Monday, February 7th. We're going to talk about renewing our emotions and the key that that holds to our success. So God bless and thank you for resetting.